It's Friday, it's 9 a.m. in New York City. Let's get it. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good vibes, good energy, good people. It's your boy Mickey Fenty, aka Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right now. Also, if you want to support my brand, it's inspiredbydreams.shop. And we got everything. Some new stuff you could dress outside of the box. Okay, all my dreamers and my dreamettes, good people, beautiful people out there. We are here now. It's Friday. It's a lot going on. I want to explain everything to you. We got a nice live. We're gonna really have to do some talking today. Shouts out to my brother Andy Appleseed. Good luck with everything. And yeah, we're gonna lift this day up with our energy together. So yeah, I'm just getting relaxed and get everything going. And we got some talk. We got some talk this morning. We got some talk. Oh boy, it's one of those days, y'all. It's one of those days. So before we get into this episode, I want to explain to you how my yesterday went. Oh, the other day, excuse me, went with my live. So what was going on was I lost my last live, you guys, and I know you guys take these lives very important. I hear the conversations on them, and I have people talking about, my lives. But what happened was I was trying to edit a part inside of the live, and I ended up erasing the whole damn live. So that's the reason why I put out that extra video for you guys yesterday on just African Americans versus Africans, and just the different dynamics between them. So I have some extra stuff in there, and plus we're gonna lift this live up just as well, and we're gonna get this one going just as well as the other one. Okay, so today we're talking about, I want to start it off with talking about this whole Diddy and Peacock documentary and just my take on it, as well as the things that I've seen in it that just struck me at, it just had me thinking. So when it comes down to Diddy and this whole situation, just from the beginning, I'm just gonna start on this note. It's sad, man. It's really sad. Sometimes I watch it and I get mad, and sometimes I get sad. And just the way my spirit is feeling today, I'm just saddened by this whole bad boy and just the way he took his life and just took it to somewhere else that we could have never imagined. Now, the documentary starts off painting this picture of Diddy, and it shows that from his upbringing, he didn't come from a home that was that much stable. He came from almost like they took his father. In other words, his father was killed, and I don't know, like people would say, what happened to him? Like, what happened to him to make him feel like, because the power is one thing, the money is another, but I see something else, something way darker inside of this man because of the things that he did to people, how he did it, and there's no answers to why he did all of this. And a lot of this stuff that's coming out, it saddens me and all the victims, man, all the victims. It was some victims even predicted that this would is over 1,000 people because they knew how he was hurting people. Now, one of the things I really wanted to speak on when it came down to the documentary was Al B. Shore. His part of it was saddening too, because money can break up families just as well as it can put things together. And in this case, the way he met Kim Porter, just like all his approaches to all these females, if we don't understand or notice, was him taking a female from someone else. Like, and that power within that, it gave him a sense of fulfillment for himself, feeling that, he's the man because he can take it from anybody. And one thing that Al B. Shore spoke on that I think is going to be very detrimental as far as Diddy's case was just how he threatened him. And you threaten the guy, first of all, you take his woman, and then you threaten him, and you're doing things outside of it, doing things to people, and you're conducting yourself like in this like mob sense of power. You could do anything to anybody. And for me, that's not scary, but for a lot of folks that's very scary, because at the end of the day, we have to all understand that we're all human, man. And I think a lot of these people in the industry, it's not just hip hop, it's just the entertainment industry as a whole. Some people lose themselves in it. And it's because not just them, it's what people do to them, whether it be contracts or outside things, drug them or doing these certain things. We see these patterns in people, and the stories are very similar. And the way I think that he was always, I think he was always had this maybe sense of scare that people will find out what he was doing in his earlier days as when it first, got in the industry. So he just conducted himself in a way where he had to overpower people to keep his secrets, in other words. And it's just sad, man. It's just looking at the doc, I was just like, I was even more shocked by just why the people, a lot of people, I see why a lot of people now didn't want to say or speak up on it. Even like the Sarah part when she was like, he did something inappropriate, like grabbed her, and she was just not like, she was so surprised at it and shocked at it. And at the same point, she came to that realization right there at that point, what can I do about it? I really can't do anything. This man is conducting himself like this around people behind the scenes, and he has the power outside to do something to harm me or my family. So it was very scary, and I think that's one of the reasons why this is going to play a big part in him doing a whole lot of time, because even if, as far as like the evidence and things like that, they're saying with the tapes, there were 9 tapes and things like that. We don't really know what's on the tapes. And for us, there's no way you can say how a person feels by just looking at it. The only way we're going to have maybe some like clarity on that would have to be from Cassie herself saying, how she felt. We don't know if those tapes came from her. We don't know where those tapes came from. Maybe those were the tapes seized from the feds when they, seized his all his stuff in the mansions. So we don't know where that's coming from, and it seems like this guy, he was very, and to rewind it all back, it seems like you can never have enough with him. If he has something and he sees like somebody else, he feels like it's almost like he's purchasing them, or he's buying into a new item or a new type of person. And then the darkness within it, I think when it came down to the sex trafficking and things like that, I think that got dark when he started dealing with people that outside of his culture that were doing things within that region of sex trafficking, and gave him a different outlook on what it really was. And I think he bought into that, and just feeding that community of people who do those type of crimes and that type of wickedness, put himself in a place. Oh, my brother, my brother, my brother, feels good, feels good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hopefully you'll be back soon. That's a fact though. Hopefully you'll be back soon. Put a smile on my face. I feel good, my boy doing this thing. Okay, okay, okay. Y'all gotta look out for Andy Appleseed's dropping a new video today. We gonna all tune into that too. And I'm definitely gonna be sharing that. I always share that on my Twitter and on my Facebook. But that's my bro. But yeah, man, just yeah, I was just talking about the Diddy, the Peacock documentary. It's sad, man. I seen even when I look at Gene too, we can't just down Gene as far as the bodyguard and things and just put him out the way, because him and Diddy has some friction. But when it really boils down to it, Gene, he just couldn't. I guess some people just couldn't stand for all of this going around. And it's not it's the once you start treating one person one way, if you was treating everybody in this whole circle like in a love type of way, then I believe that secrets would have been kept for years and years to come. But individually, he started losing sense in all the people that was around him. He started beefing with all the people around him. So now the people around him, they're like, are you serious? And everybody, that resilience around him became his downfall in a way too, because all of these people, they're not just people that, out the blue. These are people that were working with him, around him, just knowing him at his character. And now they all seem, and the reason why I feel like it's a lot of it is very truthful is because the way they paint the character of him, each one of them on their individual stories still equals up to the same person that everybody's talking about. So, even when you like hear things that they don't want to talk about, it still paints up to the character that we're seeing now. That's the craziness about it. Now, when it got down to the Biggie situation, I don't really want to pin that on anybody because it has to be substantial evidence. And I don't know if that's what they're taking into the court, but I did see that they included that. They included that with, Biggie's passing and everything, that it's possibilities that, with his character, the way Diddy was taking this whole thing, it seems like, yeah, he's putting himself on top of the throne. There's nobody else on that throne, not even his lady. He's on the top of this throne and people have to go by him. Now, on the other side of things, just looking at it, I do feel like him, saying that they have to show the tapes, or he wants to see what's going on with the tapes. I feel like that's only fair because at the end of the day, he is defending defending himself, and there's possibilities we don't know what's on him. So there's possibilities that he can probably, or Cassie could probably point out things that could be misunderstood. Maybe he's trying to go for, but I don't know. When it comes down to that, I hear a lot of people in conversations when they speak on this Diddy up to this point, a lot of people are confused and saying, well, what could he be charged with at this point? Because all we've seen was the tape, and all we've seen was this, and all we've seen was that. But what we don't realize is, yeah, he could be charged. These are more, what we're hearing, the new things that we're hearing are added on, and also things that they haven't unveiled from the beginning. So he could be charged for the gun. Number one, the serial numbers being scratched, that comes with time, the sex trafficking. He could also be charged with the drugs. So these are things that they have charges on. So it's not like he can't be charged for anything. It's just seeing when it comes down to these sexual allegations and all of this stuff, that makes it an even greater charge. And being that it's so many people, I think what they're trying to do is fish out the ones that they have some sustainable evidence, and that's what's going to be presented. So when it comes down to the courts and the federal courts, it's almost like just like how they had the making of the band, and people are trying out to make the cut. It's almost like the same thing in the federal court. You'll see them presenting evidence until it's sustainable to be ready to go for court. And that's how that usually works. So it's kind of like the same thing. You just it's almost in the same structure, but in a judicial way. So that's what I've seen so far. I've seen some other things that they were talking about. Devonte Swing, which he's one of the members of Jodeci, he was involved in this as well. When it came down to involvement, I believe in the freak-offs, he was mentioning it. But now we're hearing now that the charges have been dropped in his lawsuit involving the allegations, but it doesn't mean that it can't be brought back up on a criminal standpoint. So, but they're dropped for now. So as far as DeVante Swing, and that could mean anything from him. Remember, they said, if people pay to get their name out of this situation, that's what that could probably be. Or, it doesn't necessarily mean that he wasn't there or something, that he didn't do anything. It just says that he was offered a deal already and he took that deal. And from this point on, they're dropping the charges on DeVante Swing. So it's kind of boiling down. It's boiling down where they're kind of like all the scattered evidence, they're moving out the way, and they're just trying to get to the big stuff. Another thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, did you guys hear that Kid Cudi's home, it was burglarized? And it was kind of weird. This whole home invasion thing. I always speak to you guys on this, and it seems like the person used the bathroom, they ate, they had a good time in the house. So I've seen this one or two times on YouTube where you'll find like somebody burglarizing a home, and if it's a celebrity or something, you'll see that they have the schedule of the celebrity, or just know if the celebrity is on live and they know where the celebrity lives. They're inside of the window and they're going inside. But what happens is that also it could be all sorts of things that, as far as the person. I'm not sure if they caught them, but you see a person come in the house, make food and this and that. It's starting to get ridiculous. It's starting to get ridiculous. Now, I don't know how many homes is Kid Cudi. I don't know how many homes the man has, or if this is the home that he stays in, or if he was even in the house. I'm not sure. But it's starting to seem like, people are making it very easy for criminals to do what they got to do. You got to be very careful, especially if you're a celebrity. Your location, you can't hide all the time, and it's going to be your neighbors are going to know you, so you have to be that much secure in the things that you do. But at this point, it seems like you really can't do anything, and even the richest of neighborhoods are getting burglarized, and it seems like the middle class and under neighborhoods are not even going through that type of crime. It's kind of, it's nuts, man. And Kid Cudi, and that's no pun intended, but he was also one of the people that, he's also a victim, allegedly, of Diddy's whole ranting and beating people up type of thing. They say Kid Cudi, remember they said that, his car was blown up because he was speaking to Cassie. So we don't know really what is going on, but I don't know if that has anything to do with the Diddy. I'm just, saying that Kid Cudi, just he was involved as far as like the Diddy allegations and things like that. He was involved in the whole story. But that's kind of crazy. When it comes to that home invasion stuff, out there, especially LA and things like that, you're hearing this more frequent. It's like, come on, like, I don't know. People don't listen until something happens, and then they have a better understanding. I always tell you guys, and living around people, that's another thing too. I would rather live in a community that cares for everybody's well-being in some kind of sense, that if you have kids or anything, they at least know your kids' names, and at least a community that looks out for you, or and some of these rich communities, nobody wants to get in nobody's business. That's what they do. This is what we do. We're living here. That's it. But at the end of the day, when they say it takes a village to raise the youth, yeah, man, and I'd be surprised as far as like in these communities, those type of communities, how the kids are growing up with all that money around, all these burglaries. I don't know if anything is sticking to the wall in those communities in these times, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I did hear, with as far as healing energy still goes out for all the people that was victims of the wildfires out there in LA County and California. It's just a sad thing, and it's at this point, this is more than a tragedy. I heard Lil Kim, she was just putting her little she's putting a little message out there for all the victims and stuff, and people misconstrued it. Like, all she was saying is she's just hoping that the rain come down and just take out the fires. But some of these things, some people are gonna start realizing that some of this stuff, the only person that could save us is God. And some of this stuff, I don't know. There were people, wicked people. There's always gonna be wicked people adding on and putting fuel into any fire that's already lit. And I'm starting to realize that it's not just social media. This is just in general in the world, man. Got some wicked people out there that just love seeing things destroyed. I remember somebody had said, it's how you treat people. You never know who will be I always look at it like I never know who's going to be the person to help me when I need help, or help me or save me when I need to be saved. So I always treat people with that type of level of respect. If I get disrespected from that point on, it's a different level. But I always keep it on that platform and give people that much respect, because we never know in this world today what's next, or who's next to throw out that helping hand for us. So a lot of times you can see in hip hop, everybody swears they're friends, this and that, and they go pick the wrong people that they put all their trust in, and they end up in these same situations because of the people that you pick to be around you. People don't know that, like, and hey, you got to let people make their mistakes, no matter how many times they make their mistakes, to have an understanding that until you find out why you're doing that, you're gonna keep continuing making those mistakes. So, yeah, man, that's one that I wanted to bring up to you guys. What else we have here? We got a lot of things, man, just going on in the news and entertainment. Did y'all hear that? There was I always put out videos. I think I'll drop another one for you guys, but I always put out videos on like just just bad parents, man. Bad parenting, maybe I should say misguided or misled parents, thinking that, the way they came up, their kids should know that way of coming up. And there's a lady, she had like locked her kids in like handcuffs in the basement, and just because she couldn't deal with them. I mean, look, listen, there's a lot of places you can go to get help if you can't deal with your kids. Sometimes it can be overwhelming if you like a single parent, but there's therapy for all of this. And this is the reason why when people don't understand how this works, you can lose it. Number one, I believe she has like 3 or 4 kids, and I could just understand. I think it was like 1 boy and 2 girls, or 2 girls and 1 boy, something like that. I seen a picture of her and her kids, and they're not old, but they're pretty much in the knowing what's right from wrong. And it seems like they're giving her a hard time, and she just can't take it. So, and the sad thing about it, they was showing that she was posting all these pictures on social media, and all of this was going down, and it's like her picture was like she was unbothered. Look, you can't live this fake life. Get off of social media and stop taking that outlook and just start really paying attention to what's going on in your household. It's not easy. I can't say it's easy for a single parent. It's never easy, man or a woman. It's not easy, especially when you have more than one kid. It's not easy. But at the same time, there's places and people you can get help from where it can make it maybe a less easier or more understandable, because the kids are growing, and as they grow, all of that confusion, all of that that back and forth that you feel like you can't take, all of that could turn back into help and love, and they'll turn around and realize like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize kids are just being kids. And some parents got to know that, you know. Some parents came up in a harsh environment where they had to become adults at a young age. Don't put your kids through that, where they have to go through that. That's not the way to go about it. Let your kids be kids all the way until they want to feel like they're grown into something else, you know. That's how life works. Don't look on social media and think that everybody's kids has to be doing this or doing that. Some kids learn at different rates and have different understandings of things at different rates. So that's one crazy story that I've seen. I was just like, man, you're gonna put handcuffs on your kids? Like, what are you thinking here? So you know you're gonna be in trouble. You possibly lose your kids behind that. It's like, come on, we gotta get this. We gotta start really thinking about what we're doing here. And it's not easy. I'm not saying anything's easy, but when it boils down and it comes down to that, that's when it gets crazy. And just to interrupt this this topic real quick before, just I remember being that my last live had got erased. I just want to just talk about some of the things also that I had spoke on there that I wanted to get to you guys. Now, in that last live, I had spoke to you guys on Lord Jamar when he was in a discussion about the flat Earth, and there was a scientist that he was in debate with when he went on this, I believe it was somebody's podcast, and the thing just went out of whack. Lord Jamar started cussing out the guy, and the guy, those people behind him, and it just went really too far. But I didn't want to scratch Lord Jamar out like that, because I'm not that type of person. I like the guy. I feel he's a very intelligent person, but I felt like, damn, you know, he kind of could have been misled. So as the days going on, I seen Lord Jamar, he had dropped a live, so I jumped in it. I wanted to see what was going on, if he was in response to what had happened at the podcast, because it didn't really look too good. So I was waiting, and I seen it got on. So he did apologize for just the way he acted when he looked back at that. Sometimes we see ourselves back and we're like, wait, hold on, I could have approached that a little better. So I did respect that, because a person that could correct himself, you can tell that's a person that could learn and change up his ways, and he can have a better mindset. So I always thought he was intelligent. So then he has these two other guys on there, and what he explained was, it's not that he was apologizing because he was going what they thought. He was still sticking to what he thought, but he was just saying the way he acted. So that was understandable. And there was these two guys on there. I believe one guy's name is Dave, and there was another guy, sorry if I forget your name. But they was explaining their whole outlook on, you know, and just the research that they came across, and the things that they done. And they even had their own research on, you know, why the earth was flat, this and that. And I watched it all the way. When I finished watching it, it gave me some understanding on why Lord Jamar has said that. So for the people, and it's not like I have to agree with if the earth is flat or if the earth is round, but what I did get out of it was that sometimes we have to understand that we have to have an understanding that the way we've been taught, or the things that we've been taught, just because somebody gets taught a certain way doesn't mean that we don't necessarily know on this earth what's exactly right when it boils down. So we all got to keep an open mind. And I realized, you know, at that point, you know, it's not to say who's right or who's wrong. I don't think that's what that discussion was. It was just, for me, it made me think that, wow, there are more things that I can look in the research into, and maybe I do have to look over some things, and maybe there is some truth in some things, and maybe there's not any truth. And where did this come from, and why are they hiding it? And different questions that I asked myself while I was watching it. And I was just like, man, you know, and there's a ton of people that did research on it, and it does have its points in it. But I just wanted to let people know that just because a person has a different way of thinking, or a different like outlook on things, doesn't necessarily mean that they're not intelligent, or they just, you know, because for example, my grandfather, like remember I told you guys, I wasn't always the best person in math, and when it came to school and math, it was just like I was always just needing some extra, maybe some extra tutoring. But the way my grandfather taught me how to find the problems was completely different than how the school taught me. But they came up with came to the same way. And it just goes to show you, we can get to this destination and the solution of things while just coming from different routes. And I think that's one thing in life that we got to take for ourselves and just implement that in our everyday life. And just know that everybody doesn't have the same top, but we could all have some kind of understanding within and try to find out why people think the way they do. And then you will get closer to what it's all about. So for anybody out there that thought that just because, you know, he was out, see, I think what happened was Lil Jamar went on that podcast and they already had their defense. They had their people ready to have this defense on it. And he was, and I understand what he says, especially when it comes to science, the words in itself, I mean, I don't know if they're even worth memorizing if you're not a scientist. There's so many different words that can get too tricky when it comes to science. But I just feel like when he sat there, he just didn't have the right defense to give his points. Because when I went and I've seen on his podcast now, and I've seen if he had that same discussion on that platform with everybody together, this would have been something this would have been really big, really big. And I see how things can get confusing and how people can be taken. So I hope there's, you know, you have to expect on YouTube, there's going to be people saying, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. But I think Lil Jamal is smart enough not to let all of that stuff worry him. He just has a different way of thinking. So shouts out to Lil Jamal, man. No disrespect at all. It's just that everybody has to understand that we do have different ways of coming to different conclusions. And as not just black people, all people, we have to find that in everything we do in these times, especially when it comes down to AI and people switching things up, telling you different stories. We got to learn how to research. The more we get fed all of this technology that makes us get to things and solutions quicker, we have to find our own research outside of that just to check the stuff that is being presented to us. All I'm saying. Let me see, what else we got here? Oh, so President Biden is leaving the TikTok ban up to Donald Trump. So in other words, what he's saying is that he's not leaving this whole taking TikTok down Sunday, because I believe it's 150 million users that will be dropped. And I just feel like, I think it's not as serious as we are, our government is taking it. But they might know more than, and that's the reason why, when you have a miscommunication amongst, like in America, let's just keep it in America. The reason why we end up in these places where we don't know what side we're on is because we have a miscommunication within ourselves. And that's the problem. I see it all the time. Because, yeah, you can tell us that they're hacking this and that, but in our reality, we don't see that within those people. I mean, and it's not like we don't travel. It's not like we don't go these places. We don't feel that friction of you just saying, oh, they're hacking us and they're doing this and that. You have to make it more clear what people are doing. Show us this is what's being done, because we don't see that. And and especially out here in New York, if you're thinking out here in New York, it's a gumbo of all types of cultures. So for you pointing out and saying, oh, this particular culture or this place is hacking, it's going to make it hard for us to absorb that, because we feel like we've been scammed here in America too. People that's lost money from bad insurance. I'm hearing even Capital One, they're like filing like this, almost $1 billion in of. They had something going on. I don't know if it's like a Ponzi or something like that going on, that they have, as far as the insurance and over high rates, but they've been robbing people, allegedly. And it's sad. So America, we have a distrust within ourselves. So when you tell us that, oh, this so-and-so is coming over to invade this and doing that, not everybody's gonna believe it. And if you don't understand why that is, you really have to look back and start looking into these communities and see the things that people complain about. Like, it's just like they say the subway system, or they implemented a whole bunch of police, and there's a lot of people. People don't feel safe in the subway or walking in the city anymore. No matter what the news says, we are the people that have to walk those streets. And people, you can't tell a person how they feel. People don't feel safe on an everyday basis. We see crime in our face. And then by the time you get home from work, you can see the victims on the news. So when you say it's safer just because you put more people in the front where the tolls are at to guard the money, it doesn't necessarily mean safety for that old lady or that guy that's standing in the subway and somebody just run behind him and push him over in the subway. That's not safe. That's not safe. Yeah, you caught it on camera. Yeah, that somebody tried to pick the person up before the train came. But it happened. When are we going to realize that that's the problem? The problem that the problems that we're trying to tackle, we're tackling them after the situation's damn near the person's almost in the coffin. We got to find some kind of way to it's the mental health and people not just no trust. I told you once America loses trust, especially within us as the people, then it makes all sorts of crimes. Because look at Gen Z. What is Gen Z saying about the working, just working on the everyday, just the whole working structure? It seems like the working structure and the school structure are set up in an old school format that they can't adapt to. Yeah, in our time, having, making 50 to 40, 50, 60,000 a year, that was happy family, happy home, no problems. You're eating, you're doing good. In these times, it triples. So when you stick to that same format, what do you think the youth is going to say about that format? They're not going to abide by it. Even the work environments are not even set up for the youth. They don't even want to work there. They say the only difference in these workplaces that was different from back then, cell phones, social media. So they're not even connected into the whole environment of what the job has going on, because they're not even getting paid even if they worked overtime, they're not making enough to cover what they got going on. So where does that leave the people? With no trust. So when you tell that same person that these people over there is hacking them, when they know that if they opened up a TikTok or whatever shop and they can make more money than sitting in that place where people don't care about them or their mental issues, what do you think they're going to do? Who do you think they're going to go for? And that's how the world is right now. If you don't understand it, get to understand it. It's the reason why people are being elected. It's the reason why people think the way they do, because people feel like they have been bamboozled. So pay attention to what's going on in your communities. Understand that everybody's outlook on things, it could change and it could switch. But you always got to remember, forget about the outlook, and always remember the temperature. The temperature is how people walk on their everyday basis. Think of it in colors. If you see somebody walking blue, that's a healthy person ready to go to work, concentrated on what they got to do, take care of their family. A person red, that means that person has a heavy head, things going on in the background. They don't want to go wherever they got going to go, and they're not stable. Anything that goes wrong in their path, things can be in destruction. Pay attention to the temperature of your community and the people around you. If you don't do that, you are going to find yourself in the same positions as all of these people, victims. That's just how it goes. Life is serious at this point. Life is, it was a time where it was more comfortable, it was more enjoyable, it was more, celebrational. Right now, life is serious. We're fighting between money, technology, health, all of this stuff. It's all it's a gum. Everybody has their fight for them. I feel like the good people is going to come out on top. That's just how the world works. That's just that's how I feel, and that my faith is in us good people. My faith is not in them demons. No way. I can't see it happening, and I don't want to see it happening. I'm not gonna go for it. I feel like in society, everybody has a breaking point. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how soft you are. Everybody has a breaking point. And when that breaking point is broken, everybody from that point on will see what that person, and they'll never expect it. They'll never expect it. You can't just say, oh, that person is crazy, oh, this is that. No, that person is in a bad experience of the human of his life. It's a bad experience. And those type of experiences make you look at your brothers and your sisters and the people close to you that love you as a person that's against you instead of a person that's for you. Be careful. And just speaking on that note, I want to get back on that whole Dipset, Jim Jones versus Cameron. And, you know, I see the conversations, and I'm going to tell you the truth, up to this point, I really don't like it. But I could also have an understanding that maybe these guys weren't just friends like how we think they were. And that's one, you know, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, we have to know that as adults, we grow, and not, you know, the younger you are, that's when you accrue it up. But as you get older, it's not like you with your crew every day, man. We have adult responsibilities and things that we have going on in our lives. And sometimes it's hard to just jump up on it because we have so much things going on. So when I see this whole situation, the thing that saddens me is the music, the legacy, the things that we champion them for. You know, when it comes down to Harlem, I like them just because they have this like fashion sense about them. You hear from Harlem, man, they'll tell you everybody wear what they wear, but that's just Harlem because, you know, Harlem is Harlem. But they have a sense of style. There's certain things that they implemented in the game, and they left a great stain on hip hop that we could never forget. So when we see two people beefing back and forth, it's kind of like, but as an adult, I could understand it. I see where it went all wrong. It's just it's I feel like I think they could still. It don't have to go. I don't think it's gonna go as far as somebody getting hurt within this, but I do feel like they can still have this makeup and a better understanding of each other. You know, at this point, it's kind of like, what are we gonna do? Every group, all these famous groups that we once knew, all of the hip hop stars that we once loved, but they're gonna keep breaking up in front of our face. We gotta come together. I know it might sound corny to the people that just love destroying and fighting and doing all this nonsense, but when you really think about it, it's the truth, man. If we don't, who's gonna hold us down? Like, come on, you gotta think about it. Yeah, you might be the top, and that's the reason why it's a level of respect that I think that I feel like I deserve when it comes to me saying somebody's my friend. I don't just friend up everybody like that. That's just not the way it works. There's levels to that friendships and stuff. Some people, friends should never be around just for money. Like if y'all making money together and y'all have a goal and y'all all reaching this goal together, that's always love. That's always love, because then now you know y'all growing together and nobody really supposed to have eyes on nobody else's pocket. But if it's a thing where it's kind of like only one side is benefiting and then somebody else might feel a certain way, then that's when the friction always happens in our community. It ain't nothing. It's no secret. It's no secret. It's really no secret, man. It's really, really no secret, man. You know, it's one of those things where I refuse to like choose. I'm not choosing between these guys. I never thought I had to choose between, you know, who was. I'm not even doing that. Nah. It doesn't make no sense. I seen so Mano had spoke on when Cameron told that story about Jim Jones, and Mano just he gave it like some clarity. Mano, you know, said it in a way where it wasn't as frictional or as aggressive as Cameron might have explained it. And Cameron also said it before that, you know, Mano, because they're cool now, he's going to say it in a certain way. So Cameron almost had a little prediction going on there. But even if, man, Mano was just saying that, you know, it's certain, and especially that comes with growth too. Certain things you can get over, you know. It's so many things you can get over, I feel. But if it ain't really, nobody ain't do nothing to your family, ain't nobody ain't put no hands on you, ain't nobody do anything to you, it can always, I feel like it could always be worked out. So I just feel like, you know, Mano, he gave it some clarity, just saying that, you know, they spoke and it was just a little, you know, like ice grilling type of thing. And then they got a chance to talk it out and realizing that they had more in common, and they chopped it up from that point on. So you know, hopefully they can change things up on that and get things right, man. Get things right. I heard another thing too about this Hollywood. Was a Hollywood producer. He's facing some scrutiny. I think he has the same. Is it? Yeah, like he has the same allegations, abandoning two women. He has like the same, all of this entertainment with like the sex trafficking. This was something going on, like an underground fetish type of thing going on behind the scenes where this is like probably what they thought was like taking this sexual thing up to another level, but they don't realize you're hurting people and telling people and making people do things that they don't want to do. I feel like, a person that mean for like, let's say a narcissist, right? I feel like that would be one of their biggest hurts, knowing that they might have so much money or feel like they have so much power, and then when they approach a female and that person doesn't want to be with them, that hurts them in a different type of way than a person just being rejected. And that could possibly make them feel like, nah, I'm getting whatever I want, and that could turn into all of this type of, stuff. And yeah, that's kind of, I feel like that type of energy, love on the people that love you. And I don't like, to be honest with you, I don't like the way Diddy did it. I don't like the way he did it. I'm be honest with you from the heart. I don't like the way he did it. Like the way he just, see somebody else. Like I'll be sure he was walking in there with his lady, and they just had a baby. Now I know it takes two to tango, so I'm not just putting it all on Diddy, because you also have to look at the female too. Like, damn, why would you run off with him? If me and you got something, you should be the first one to turn him down. But when it comes to this money, a lot of females as well as males are being blinded by it, and they feel like they're coming from a situation where they might not be able to possibly get that, so let me give it a shot. Just knowing in their heart, they know it don't feel right, or know they don't really like the person, they can find themselves in these type of places too. But yeah, man, I was just like, it just didn't feel right the way he just, even Ryan Leslie, the way he took Cassie, and he took Kim, he took Cassie, it's like, in other words, like he was only going after certain, and what's the sad thing about it? He was going after females that like his peoples had, like it was people that he knew. So when you go back to this whole who's friends in the industry, I feel like no, this whole facade about being friends, no. Even if he says, because I heard something like Diddy saying that Jay was his friend, no, you have to understand that friendship thing is a two-way street. You can say, oh, that person's a friend, and that person can turn around and say, no, I'm not your friend. And you are, what? No, because you treat people like this, and that. Now, yeah, you treat me like this because we have a business type of thing going on, but the way you treat other people, I don't really condone with that, and I won't have a friend that treats people like that. So you never know a lot of these people don't know what friendship is. That's one of the things too. A friend is not gonna put you out there or disrespect you or do all these sorts of things in public, or start loving on your lady and all of that. Like, what do you think that, like, just because I might have more money than a friend, or a friend might have more money than me, doesn't give them the right to just invade and say, oh, I'm just gonna try to get at your lady, and if she messed with me, that's that's not his fault. No, you're being a weasel. You're being a person that you're trying to overpower everybody around you. You just don't see yourself growing into this monster. You don't see yourself growing into this monster. And eventually, when the monster when the monster dies, nobody cries. That little quote just stays in my head. When the monster dies, nobody cries, and it's because all the pain you left back with people that you hurt, that you just felt like, oh, I'm just gonna do it because I could do this. That doesn't leave. People are hurt behind that. A lot of people on the documentary was very scared. You could see they were still blocking their faces and things like that because they don't really know what the case, if Diddy's gonna beat this and come out and start rewatching all of this and start getting at people. They don't know what's going on. Because let me tell you, if he beats this, he's gonna be looking like Teflon Diddy, like how Gotti came out, but we know the end results with Gotti. At the end of the day, Gotti is not, he ended up back in. And that's just how life works. I don't see, I mean, as far as the amount of time, I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. I don't know how that's gonna work. I don't know how. But it just looks like all these people, they are very scared of him. They're very scared of him. Everybody he came in contact with, from all those, the making of the band to Danity Kane to Dirty Money, all of those people, their minds have been tampered with dealing with that man. The way he conducted himself, and I feel sad for the people that looked up to Diddy and they took his blueprint of the way of how he treated people, because don't think that don't happen either. You get a lot of these people, they get in, some of them, they get in their arrogant raps and they feel like they're this and that because they got a few dollars. And then they got a whole stadium full of people believing in that nonsense, feeling like for them to be successful, they got to act like this towards people. That ain't the way to go. That's not the way to go, because there's many more successful people that treated people and did good business with people than there is people out there that are just trying to snake people. The people that's trying to snake people, it always catches up to them. Don't ever think that they win that race. By the time, right before the finish line, something happens, whether it's oil on the floor, look, it always catches up to them. So I feel like he's the guy that he's at the point where he's made his bed. He made his bed. He made his bed, man. Good morning, good morning. I don't know. Another thing that it was kind of sad though. Did y'all get to see? I seen a clip of the Breakfast Club. They had Wendy Williams call up. Now, the saddest part about this whole thing is when you can't trust the people around you. I don't know, and I'm not saying that her sickness is easy to handle or she's an easy person to be around or work with. I don't know that. But what I can see is that they're misusing her life because of her money. And that's foul. Not only is that foul, the karma behind that, let me tell you, I wouldn't even want to spend none of that lady's money. None. If I didn't work for the money, I don't want to touch nothing you got going on. Because people putting their mouth on people nowadays and they don't know where their karma coming from. And if they just rewind back, they'll see exactly how it hit them. Now, when it comes to Wendy, I would not trust the people around her. And I would definitely, is there anybody out there that loves her enough to step in and say, you know what, hold on. Let me put some lawyers, let me put some investigators on this. They have, she has money. Let me put this around this and just see what's going on, because this could open up a rabbit hole to something deeper than we didn't even imagine. Yeah, I believe there's a lot of great doctors out there, but there are wicked doctors out there too. And there are a lot of wicked people that take what you might say on social media or what you have done as your work life in the past, if it's in the public, and they might treat you accordingly. Because life, that's why I say you always got to be mindful of the things you say on these platforms about people, because you never know how things can go for you. And it's just a sad story. I hope that she does get some kind of open into the things that she still loves, because yes, the dementia, you can put things around that she loved doing, like maybe set up a little pot, but they got her, it's almost like they have her in a prison. It's not like she's set up in a place where, she has people working around her and maybe she has like a little podcast setting over there and something that we can all, adapt to, and whenever she wants, she can click a button and say what's up to the people. No, this is more like medication, sneaker phone call. It's almost like prison, and it's just sad for a person that worked that hard. And I'm not going into whether you feel like what her job in the past talking about people is karma. I don't know. I can't necessarily say that's karma that's brought onto her, because we are doing the same thing right now, what she's been doing back in the day, just, giving her sides on things and the things that we might not have heard behind the scenes. That's what Wendy stood for. She's the one that said that she predicted Diddy would be possibly locked up for the rest of his life, because she heard things behind the scenes and she was trying to tell people. But at the same point, that was Diddy at his most powerfulest point that we can say, and he got her fired and different things. So a lot of things were going on. But now when we look back at the things that she was saying, there weren't anything too far-fetched of what's going on now. So what makes her some kind of crazy person? No, she's not crazy at all. I feel like the more love you put around somebody, that makes it easier for them to find a sense of who they are. Because if you put a lot of like people that you don't know around a person, how you trying to think that person gonna find themselves? How do you think that? What's going on? If you're in a place around love where people can show you family pictures and different things like that, and I'll be damned if, and I don't care what type of disease or what type of thing. I don't care if people say there's no cure. Yeah, of course, there's a cure for everything. We just say you haven't found it yet, but don't say there's no cure, because yes, there's a cure for everything. You just haven't found it. You found everything else. You found technology. You found the gun behind that kid ran around there and he hid in the corner. You found everything. You found Diddy's tapes. You found the baby oil. You're going to find cures once we sit as human beings and start realizing what means more important to us, the money or our health. It's sad. It's sad. I don't like the way they have her. It didn't feel good. It didn't feel right. And something feels fishy about it. That's just my take on it. So healing energy to Wendy Williams, and just keep an eye on them people, man. We've seen this before, celebrities being taken for money because people are counting your death date before you even get to it. Come on now. And for what? For money? That's why I tell you all that stuff. Money confuse people and make people look at you in a funny way. Sometimes you gotta, that's why I understand, now you start to understand why the really wealthy people, they hide that part of them, because if you show that part, then people be blinded of who they really are. They can't see anything else. And that's a sad thing we have as people. We got to get past that. And it's not our fault. It's not our fault. It's the people that put so much that value into that. And they care about that more than the people at these work environments and places that, come on. Man. What's goody? Chilling, bro. Chilling, man. Chilling, man. I will be a little light on the N word, but it's cool. I will be a little light. I don't know how YouTube takes it, but yeah, chilling, bro. Chilling. Trying to my last live from the other day got erased. I was so tight, man, because I dropped a lot of jewels that people could take with them. And I just feel like I don't want to erase anything. I was trying to edit a little piece of it, and it took out the whole thing. I looked, and it was like on a minute 20. I'm like, a minute 20? Ah. I was like, I was done for. Did you guys hear about, they said, I don't know, some people were mad that Leonardo DiCaprio, he was boarding the plane while the fires were going. But I don't know, and maybe I'm missing out on something. They're saying that he was supposed to be like some kind of like weather expert. You guys, what is Leonardo DiCaprio? He is an actor, okay? He was probably acting like he knew the weather, but when them fires came, he had enough money to get up out. I'm not mad at him. I don't know what people are mad at, like if they wanted him to stay there, but look, that's, and I don't want you to picture the end of the world, but if it was a case of something burning down, the whole place is burning, the people that can get on these or make these quicker decisions to get out of there are going to do what they have to do, you guys. I'm not going to be mad at him, because you want a guy in the movies, he could save a whole bunch of millions of people. He's an actor. But in real life, I don't know how that guy is. I don't really know if he can do all of that in real life. I'm just being serious. I don't know why y'all mad at him for. That's just my take on it. Maybe he was out there preaching, he knows really expert weather, but the guy's an actor. Don't be, like, it's the same as hip hop. Don't be confused. Like, he just wanted to get up out of there, man. But them wildfires, it's so many people passed away behind this. It's not just burning up in the fires. It's about ventilation, the smoke. There's a lot going on. I just put healing energy to everybody out there. We don't at this point, we don't know exactly what's going on in this world. All we can say is if we can help each other get through it. That's the best we can say. There's so many people from out here in New York just try to send a helping hand out there and do what they can do. You'll be so surprised how many people try to help them. And I hope they can take that look and just start realizing, take it down on the gang violence a little bit. Put a different reflection out there. Put a different reflection out there, Don't take it down on that stuff. Like, take it down a little bit. Everybody's still trying to add on this cool to the violence and cool to being tough. Like, take it down a little bit. Not right now. Not right now. There's too many people are passing. You're not as tough as you say you are. Now, another thing, Bo Jackson. This is when the celebrity, and this is when celebrity really becomes detrimental to your family. Now, Bo Jackson was in I believe he was in a dispute with his niece and his nephew over, what is that, $21 million? Or what does that say? Oh my, $21 million. Like, money can get in somebody's family, and if it's misguided people thinking about it, can ruin your family. We're seeing this. 20 some he got millions of dollars. They're in a dispute with he's in a dispute with his own family about some money. How you in there and then them people placing them courts with disputing about some money, man? We already know we can't. We ain't supposed. Yo, no, man. No. The only time you gonna catch us up in the courts is if it's jury duty. Like, you're not gonna. No. It's just we gotta do better than that. You can't see what the money does to people. Some people, it's crazy. But everybody say, I'm getting money, I'm getting this. What do you are shortening your life, young man. That's what you're doing. You're gonna get that, be in the wrong places, showing off the wrong thing, and somebody is gonna take that from you as well as your life. You gotta be very careful nowadays in the streets, especially out here in New York. The laws are changing at a rapid rate. Trust me. Do you guys know of a drill rapper? His name is K.O. He just got sentenced. And they gave him, what is he? He's 37 years old. A little on the. Oh. Wait, hold on. Excuse me. He's receiving. Oh, he got a life sentence. And he's 37, so he's not coming out. Look at this, man. What's going on with that? I never heard of the guy. You know, every now and then every day you hear somebody, drill rapper in the news, and I gotta ask you guys if you heard of this guy. His name is K.O., man. They gave him life. 37 years old. He threw his life away, let me tell you, before even going into this story, I just know that when they say drill rapper, it has everything to do with the music, because that's the same evidence in his music that they took him out with to give him life. And God forbid he got a crew or a gang, they're going to get the RICO within the next few months. Don't think it just goes down like that. They are taking gangs out. The RICO is one of the most, it's one of the most big, it's the biggest penalty in these times right now is that RICO. That RICO is taking groups of people out, taking them out in bundles. It's no joke. I'm hearing another thing that just came up. This is like some sort of breaking news. Busta Rhymes, he gets in a dispute and he gets locked up over I guess his assistant. He punched his assistant in the face. And look, man, all of this bad energy. I don't know what's going on with Busta Rhymes. I've heard him in a few times in the news. Now, as far as his hip hop legendary status, I love Busta Rhymes. I love his music and everything, but ever since social media has been present in hip hop, I've been hearing and seeing things that not necessarily fit with the image that I thought some of these people were, and Busta kind of falls in that category because I hear things about Busta and I don't necessarily just go off of what people say and just start believing stuff, but it's just and they're saying they have footage of it. So it's kind of like that looks like it's just going to be a big lawsuit. And hopefully next time around, just at the age you're at, you should have people around you that you can trust, and you don't have to resort to fighting them because they're on their phone. And that's maybe you should give it. I don't know. I'm not going to say. I don't know if he's a narcissist. I don't know with these rappers. I don't know what avenue they took when they got it. Some of them go into being a powerhouse to their friends and people around them, and all I can see is from the rapping standpoint. But then if you look in the background, they're telling this person, get off of this, get off of that, and I don't know how it can go, but that's looking like a lawsuit. Hopefully you can get over that and just find the mistake within that, and don't ever let that happen again. You're at an older age. We heard last time, I believe he was in a hospital for some type of sexual act. Maybe something went wrong. I don't know what that was about, I heard. And then I heard like these funny stories when the Diddy came up about him and some other stuff. But it's just like when you see these lawsuits come around, it's like I told you, man, these things are make and break it for all these people, man. You can't just throw the money away for stupidness, man. One I wanted to touch though, my guy Method Man. That's my guy, man. Method Man, I respect the Wu. A good group that says hip hop. But I'm hearing that Method Man, he allegedly got into a little, I wouldn't even say a scuffle. Maybe he just, things just went bad. Like, and I'm hearing that this is his niece's boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or something like that. Look, let me tell you, off the back, Method Man is not a disrespectful person. Number one, he's a grown man. At the end of the day, I just feel like, from my take of it, you'd have had to disrespect him about his daughter. No, I believe it was his daughter that guy had messed with. So you would have had to disrespect his daughter. And then he might have said, because I don't see him just getting at you because you once was messing with him. No, you said something disrespectful. And Meth probably wasn't going for that. But when it comes down to me just saying Meth is this, no, Meth is not the type of person. He done well for himself. He came to a place where he don't have to go out there and put some of these guys in the chokehold. I get it. But I don't think he's just going to go out there and just rough somebody up for no reason. I'm sorry. I'm not going with that with Method Man. He doesn't never displayed that type of character ever. So I'm not going to go with that. I feel like there's more to that story. And people got to realize that celebrities are people too. And you can't be out there disrespecting people because people will put hands on you. I think that's only fair until we get more on that situation, if we get more. If not, shouts out to Meth, man. I can't, when you're dealing with, people don't play about their kids, number one. We all know this. People would go and do the most. People would change, you would think a person could be going to church every Sunday. The minute you play about their kids, they got a hoodie with the string tied up. I'm telling you, don't play about people's kids, man. Don't do that, man, because it puts a person with a different type of energy. And that goes for anybody. It could be from the softest person. You might think that person's the softest. They ain't gonna get... Look, listen. People make things happen in these times. We all notice this. People are... These type of mistakes you just don't do. So don't play about people's kids, man. And when it comes to Meth, shouts out to the Wu. I seen a documentary that I want to watch. It's an older documentary that I had came across. I just want to rewatch it on the Wu-Tang. But yeah, I don't know, man. Stay away and don't be playing by people's kids. That's all I got to say with Meth. Oh, shouts out to Korea. That's Korea? Word? Shouts out to y'all, man. Shouts out to y'all. Shouts out to y'all, man. This is a big hip hop scene out there, ain't it? Y'all don't even know. All of these places, y'all probably taking hip hop more serious than we are out here in America. It's a shame, yo. It's a shame. They ain't respecting the culture like y'all think they are, man. Out here, we over here, it's like we taking abuse of the culture. It's like we've been fed too much. I feel like we've just been, the culture's being watered down because anybody can just do it without having any type of respect attached to it. And in all these other beautiful places, people respect hip-hop and the culture more than us. I see it all the time. That's why y'all are the ones really keeping the culture alive. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all just don't know that. Y'all just don't know that. Because y'all sticking to the real hip-hop, the real MCs that y'all like, the people that's really putting out bodies of work, and y'all repping for them. Out here, we got everybody out here like watching pockets. How much he got? How much he got? Is the song good? How big is the house? How dope is the car? But is the song good? I don't get it, man. I do not get it, bro. I do not get it. It's like, if it was full, right now, hip hop is like, just and throw you the plate on the table. That's what it is right now. Instead of saying, here, well prepared, check it out, put this sauce and have the... It used to be like that. People used to have respect for the culture, but now since people have been duped on some money or feel like they got to get to a certain point where they're not at or their age or this and that, they got people just doing the most for a piece of change. It's like, come on now, you can't do that. You can't do that. A lot of mistakes are being made, man. No structure and all that leads to these types of situations all the time, all the time. And it leaves us as listeners going back to the stuff that we love. Like I have an abundance of music that I listen to, but it's just not a lot. The majority of it is not really new. And I find myself wanting to find new stuff that fits me like the old stuff, but it's just a lot of it. It's just like I don't know, the level of thinking on the stuff is just after it's like going backwards. I can't. I just some of it, and I understand that the youth the youth has something to say, but it's just that how a lot of the youth is being presented, and the ones that really have something to say, they're being pushed out the way for people that just want the money and just want to shoot so and so and tell people about it. That ain't the way you got people thinking that being a superstar in hip hop come with some kind of criminal type of stuff. Come on now. Are you signing criminals, or what are you doing here? Now I understand you're trying to sign people that have talent from aggressive neighborhoods and trying to get them to with a better life if that is the goal. But at the end of the day, you can't put money into criminals. You can't. If their mindset is not right, they're not gonna lose that sense of being a criminal. No, it's gonna enhance. And that's the reason why we see things like the RICO and see people getting like the antitrust and things like that. It's overpower. You're overpowering people. I'm telling you. Do you ever hear about, okay, for example, okay, say a rapper makes like $20 million. Don't you know on like video games alone, $20 million could be made within like a month from some of these people. And they don't go around being the biggest gangsters in the world. No, they're invested in other companies like maybe Amazon, and they're connected. They're building business around it. They're not going hurting people or turning around and looking at the people that made those other games and getting them shot. Where's all that stuff come from? It's a false sense of, I think people try to live out these fake raps. That's what started happening too. The people start they get a little bit of money and then they try to become this street person that they've been talking about. That ain't the flow. That ain't the flow. It's artificial. I can't buy into that stuff because I'm gonna know it's fake because I come from that. I know I have people, I have friends, I have family that come from that. So when it doesn't feel right and it ain't it. It ain't hitting, like it ain't really hitting. It ain't like your music, it ain't really traveling. And I don't want anybody in these foreign places think that we're enjoying this nonsense of like hip hop. No, we're not enjoying it. The only things that we enjoy are the stuff that really sticks to us and the stuff that really has meaning to it. I can't enjoy just bopping my head all over the place, bopping. I get a headache from some of this stuff. Some of this stuff I can't even understand what some of these people are saying. They're so pilled up and drinking all that stuff that they don't even know what they're saying. It's like, come on now. And the drugs are different. You guys got to understand that. I know you wasn't here when we was around, but I'm trying to put you on to let you know that you are being bamboozled. Even the drugs are different, man. The drugs have a lifespan attached to it. When you take that stuff, they know that you're a part of it and you're not going to be there for long. They're tricking you guys. Why do you think it might seem funny, but why do you think crackheads were living? People that did like those type of drugs in our time, they were living. This stuff is knocking people out in days, like just boom, you're gone. So there's a difference in that. It's not the same stuff. Yeah, it might be the same name, but it's not the same stuff. Be mindful of what's going on in these times. Why you think the war is going to start next week? The war already started. It already started. Don't you taste it? Well, y'all don't even know the difference between the foods. But I could tell you, the fast foods and things that you taste now are not the same as how they tasted before. But they know as human beings we adapt to it, and only some people can catch on to that. Even the sugar is a different type of sugar than that it once was. And it's not the healthier sugar, it's a booster. Too much of that stuff is damn near like, they'll kill you too. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. You guys got to really check into what's going on as far as your foods and things like that. They got you guys on like this fast pace and they don't expect too much from you, and I expect more. I feel like you guys are going to be the ones to change it, to change things. And I always felt like that. I say, when I become if God spared me to be an old man, I don't want to end up like the Wendy Williams. I want you guys to say, no, In your time, this is how you'll go out. But in our time, you're gonna go out like this, and you guys have built up a whole different thing for like older folks and doing good for people. You guys got the brains to do all of that. You guys have the brains to at least get people and put them out on a better than what it was once lived. But you can't follow behind all the stuff that was here and just karaoke and do things and duplicate stuff. That's why we can't get nowhere. That's why we can't get, only the dummies is going to be doing the duplications and things like that. But the people with this, they're going to be doing and inventing things that's going to make it more safe in this world a better place. Not these other guys. Just having money doesn't, it's, when you have the spirit of creativity and you could create, then the money means nothing, because in the right person's presence, you'll be able to get as much money you need to do whatever you have to do, because people will believe in you. The trust is broken in the world, and we can't believe in each other, and that's the reason why. So we have to find faults within each other to make us all feel like one, and that ain't the way it's supposed to be. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Nobody's perfect, but at the end of the day, some people get very close to it. Just be a good person. And that's what we even social media feeds you that thought that you have to be the best at this, best at that. No, you don't. Who said that? Who said you have to be the best at anything? You can be okay and live a good life. You don't have to be the best. Not everybody's like Michael Jordan. Some people just love playing the game and they had fun at it. They didn't get as many trophies, as many rings, but they had a good time. What's up with that? Why you gotta be the best at everything? That's just like I don't get people. Like, you gotta be this. If you wanna be that, you can be the best. Me, I'm over here. I just wanna get a few drinks and watch the game. I'm supporting the best. Is that good enough for you? Damn. Like, people are only gonna be people. Oh man, what else we got here? There was an actor I had read up a story on in Houston. He was talking about his recovery journey. I might put that on a separate video for you guys, and I'll drop that. Another thing I wanted to speak to you guys on, on the Art of Dialogue, they also have, shouts out to the Art of Dialogue, they're always doing their thing. I watch them a lot now. They have another interview with Beanie Siegel, and he was speaking on the whole Jay-Z allegations, and they asked him if, you know, how did he feel? Like, did he feel like what they were saying about him, does that fit any character or the type of person that we might not know, being that he was around Jay-Z more than us? And yeah, Beans feels the same way. It's a setup. I feel him. Like, you don't know who the person is. The person's hiding behind. We don't know. To tell you the truth, I don't think it's anybody. I think it was just like a play for the money. And I think, yeah, maybe you might have a video with Jay-Z at a party, and that might have got your eyes wide to say, let's pull him in it because of the money attached to it. And that's what I'm saying too. Money make people look at other people like they're not human or something. You don't think J and B and all them is human too? Y'all still looking on this whole, like, back in the day, looking at Michael Jackson screaming and passing out? Y'all got to get over that stuff. We grown people now, man. You can't do that no more. Don't you see the wrongs in that stuff? Over fanning yourself out and putting your all in the people you don't know. You don't see nothing wrong in that? You don't think that scared Beyonce when you run up on her like that when she's trying to go to the mall or just run to wherever she got to go to pick up a few things for the kids, and you run up on her with the screaming stuff? You don't think that feel uncomfortable after thousands and thousands of times? So you got to be mindful of people. They're not robots. You don't think that thing bothers Jay-Z or give him a headache when he got sons and daughters to raise, when people are talking about him and his family or how he did something that he ain't do? And they don't want to show their face, like they're behind the thing, like they coming from like they're a wrestling match. They coming behind it. Come on now. We ain't going for that. If in these times, if you can't show no evidence, you ain't got nothing. You ain't got it. You bluffing. And for bluffing in these times, it's a hard payout. So I you know, like, come on, man. Like, so Beanie, he felt like, you know, that they was lying on him, and it's sad because they're trying to tie everybody in here. They're trying to tie everybody in. I don't care how many people that was. There got to be people at the party. It's Diddy. It's gonna be celebs at the party. They're saying an after party. They're saying they got freak off takes. So push that then. But you don't just pull people name in and just to see if he pull back and pay you just so you can get. This is not about money, man. For you guys, it might be about money, but for them victims out there, nah, they hurt. And they're very scared too, because they're saying that, you know, the man put, you know, say he do things to other people. There's put on record saying that how Diddy threatened people. People are saying this, that he was walking around like he was some big, you know, John Gotti or something. So when you hear things like that, you have an understanding why people wasn't coming out and saying what they had to say about the man. It's just common sense. Sometimes you gotta, like I always tell you, you gotta thank God what he don't put you through when being around some of these people. I can cheer for them from a distance. I don't gotta be always, you know, like, you don't always want to be the person on stage. Sometimes being the person in the spotlight puts you in a dark place in the end. You think you're in the light, but then you end up in that dark place and you don't want to go back. Some of them people hiding their face on the documentary. That's just, it's sad. It's more than sad, you guys. It's more than sad. Y'all make sure y'all like and share this up. Subscribe to your boy. I got a new video I'm dropping later on tonight. Trying to keep my energy up. As far as me and as far as myself, and I'm hoping you guys, when it comes down to, like, I see a lot of like relationship and family issues. Look, man, we all go through it. I go through it, been through it. Right now, I'm a single man with a plan, like, and I leave myself open to love, but at the same point, that's not the direction that I'm just pointing my arrow at. You know what I mean? You got to point your arrow at something that's going to be substantial and it's going to work for you and your family. So my whole gist of this, I just feel like the people I love, the biggest surprise ever that would be just keeping that smile on their face, and everybody just, because look, man, we ain't on this earth forever. We all got to go sometime. So we might as well spend the moments that we have with the people we love the best we can. Money attached to it, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, you know? It don't really mean anything. For real, for real. That's why I always tell you guys, don't let these other people fool you. Some of these people, look at hip hop right now. It's sad. People, they're not even friends like that. I mean, I thought up to this point, we still couldn't even come to terms as black people with Fat Joe. I don't think the man is racist, to be honest with you, but I do think that he made some mistakes and some really disrespectful at high levels, using the N-word to down somebody. But at the end of the day, you mean to tell me in hip hop, we are good at breaking up, we're not good at coming together? What's wrong with this? What's wrong with this picture that we're painting here? We can do better than that. We can do way better than that. And everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes things get out of hand, and hip hop is known for taking things out of hand. But the more we grow with each other and start realizing social media really played a big part in the changing of the way we look at hip hop and the way we look at artists and people today, then we'll start taking it more serious. We'll start taking it more serious. Got no time to come up on here and start spewing out a whole bunch of lies. A lot of people do that nonsense. Trying to fake like this, fake like that. Whatever you do, don't fake like you know everything, because that's the worst type of friend, the worst type of person to be like. Somebody think they know everything. Nobody knows everything, man. Just be open to learning and stop doing bad for your people. If you see your friends or somebody need help in something, don't make people feel like if they ask you, they got to hold down their head because they feel embarrassed. That means they ain't around people that really love them. That's what I see the problem is. All this fake stuff going on. People don't even know who they real friends or not. Come on now. I always say, you know, I just like, I knew that it was gonna come to, hip hop was gonna come to this point, just because I could see the way certain people treated people, just from the outlook. Like, I don't know, some people just think and it looks so stupid as a whole. Y'all don't even know how stupid as a whole it looks. It's like, you're arguing down at somebody wearing all designer that not even from your culture. You look so silly and stupid. I'm saying it to the best way I can, because it's not like we can't buy nice things and stuff, but when you're putting all that stuff, people could just tell the type of person you are. You cut so thin, man. Do better than that. And I never like to treat my people like they ain't got this or they can't get where I'm at. That ain't how life works, man. Whoever took on and told you that, like, you got to do this or keep doing better than your friend, or I got to do better, man, y'all lost. Straight up. Straight up. You mean to tell me that's why I told you I could match my good times with y'all. You think you had some good times? Oh, you been to every here and there doing this, that party, had a duck from this gunshot? Man, if I even start explaining some of the good times I had, you'll be so surprised. The reason why I think the way I do. Like, man, you got to do better than that for your people. You really do. For real. I make the single life look like paradise. Like paradise, y'all. I make sure like I carve out all my time and make sure I'm here for my peoples when they really, really need me. And I make sure that what I'm doing and the things I have going behind the scenes, everything is working. Everything's in the fix, man. I'm right now. I'm just scaling out my life and just knowing that the older I get, I have to be wiser with all these tricks. I have to be able to catch them. It's just my anxiety kicking in. I got to be able to know if I got to be able to read that person before he's right in front of my face. I got to know how to read the room right. So these things come with discipline, and these things come with a good life, man. I'll be honest with you. I don't worry too much about the things I see a lot of people worrying about in these times. It's because I don't give any of those things any like value. I don't know. When I was younger, I guess I gave clothes and things like that more value than I do now. But I feel like I'm the one that makes the clothes work. I always felt that way. I feel like if I wear it, it's gonna be something different, you know? That's just the confidence in me. I hope you guys keep that same energy so people won't tell you how you this and how you that. Yo, who are they? And you start looking at them and shoot, your problems, you'll take them back. I don't be fooled by the nonsense. After this, I'm gonna get some good breakfast, do a little bit of designing, and I'm gonna work on that video for you guys. I really want you guys to check out. So you guys make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure you subscribe. My boy Meth roughed them up. Yo, these guys be disrespectful, man. They be thinking like they Godzilla because they got a few dollars. Or they could talk up to somebody. Nah. Don't do that. You gotta respect your elder, especially he was dating his daughter. You gotta have a little more respect, man. If you don't have that respect, you know, people can always show you something, but you know, and when they get down to that point, you know, they just gotta, hey. And don't get on no funny stuff like Drake with all that suing stuff either. I don't wanna hear all that. Like, I told y'all about that suing stuff. If it ain't something that's harmful to your family or something that your family got hurt or something like that, don't be running out there looking for people money and to sue them and all that. All that stuff come with karma, I told y'all. I could explain that on another live, but I don't even want to get into that, you know? But don't be looking for what nobody else got. I wouldn't even want to spend nobody else's money. As funny and crazy as that sounds to some people, nah, I want to spend what I earn. Nah, I ain't trying to do none of that karma. I know it's real. I know it's real. I know it's real. I know it. I done seen it, the witness of it. I'm like, man. So, I love you guys. I hope you guys can take something from this and just take it throughout your day. We got a good weekend coming up. And yeah, man, the weather is so iffy, wishy-washy out here. I don't know. Hopefully we get more sun. Just pray for more light. And all those people that's going through, you know, or even have family that's going through with the wildfires, just know that there's always, as human beings, there are still good people in this world, and there's still people lending their helping hand. I want to make that more of a theme for our lifestyle. Before anything, you always got to know, before you receive, you still got to help. And sometimes some of us help people when we didn't even have it. Those are the people that you want to keep close to you. Those are the people that really care, man. I care about the people around me. I care about their lives just like how I care like my own. When you start finding that sense of love for your folks and the people, your real friends, then you'll see what life is all about. Thank you guys for supporting the channel, man. My channel's been going up. I'm really proud and I'm happy because it takes a lot in these YouTube streets to be dropping these things and then people that just drop, all they have to do is drop a little ounce of negativity and they're pew. But like I tell you guys, I don't worry about the numbers. I only worry about you guys, the viewers, and how y'all are looking at this stuff that's going on in this world today. That's the mindset. You guys, if you haven't checked out my latest video, it's on Black Americans versus Africans, and that whole conversation was crazy, but we all got to know, we all people, and there's more ways we can find newer solutions instead of finding newer ways to destroy each other. So I might be back on here later on. I know I've been running my yap. Love you guys, and this is Friday, Take care of yourself and your peoples around you. Love your peoples, man. Be all we got, man. Don't go out there and try to separate us. Try to bring us all together, all right? It's always love. Till next time, it's your boy Mickey Fenty, a.k.a. Mickey Made It. If you're new to this channel, you know what to do to this channel. Subscribe right